My name is Duane Thompson. I've lived in Carbon Canyon for 25 years. I spent hours reading the traffic studies, the reports, the methodology, the charts, and the background information, trying as a citizen to wrap my head around what the traffic engineers are saying. The fact that no traffic study can reflect reality of a road like Carbon Canyon is right in your face. It's unique in the city of Brea. Traffic on Carbon Canyon Road is already really bad, and you would let it get worse if you approved Madrona. That would require the approval of the Madrona EIR, which is defective. That would also require a statement of overriding consideration on traffic, because there are significant and unavoidable negative impacts to traffic. In other words, you simply throw your hands up in the air and say there's nothing we can do about it except for a freeway sign that tells us that traffic is bad, and then go ahead and make it worse. You should be doing the opposite. You should be doing everything in your power to make Carbon Canyon Road safer. I have to wonder why you would ever choose the bankrupt developer's pie-in-the-sky promises over the time, the welfare, and the safety of your own residents and constituents. Because that's the choice you'll be making, and we'll be reminded of it every day. In studying the traffic numbers in this strange language, even to a novice, it became clear that there are glaring omissions. For example, the intersection at Santa Fe and Carbon Canyon Road was not even included in the study. As you can see, this is a regular choke point in the evening rush hour because drivers are asked to merge from 4 lanes down to 1 lane in less than a mile. There wasn't even a courtesy look towards our neighbors in Chino Hills at the impacts to any of their intersections. Perhaps the most irresponsible part of the plan is the deficient design of the Madrona project exit on a dangerous curve in the road. Frankly, the canyon is not wide enough to accommodate Madrona's merging and accelerating traffic without major alterations to the canyon. You should have a copy of a recent report by traffic engineer Tom Brohard, which examined this oversight. According to the Madrona EIR, cars will be entering and exiting into traffic which is moving at 55 miles an hour plus around blind curves in both directions. I have no doubt your approval of Madrona would create the most dangerous intersection in Brea. But the real problem is that the studies don't tell you how unique this road is or the reality of the experience today. It's unlike any other road in the city of Brea. There's no secondary access to or from Carbon Canyon Road. It's 1 lane in, 1 lane out. This is not your typical city street. You could hit a deer, or a bobcat, or a coyote. Roadkill is a common sight. It's also not unusual for cars to swerve to avoid wildlife that's crossing the highway. It's dangerous when it's congested, both for first responders and for awaiting patients. It's also dangerous when it's clear, because too many drivers don't respect its challenges and deficiencies. This is an unforgiving road for the cavalier and the distracted, probably worse now than ever with the popularity of texting and emails on the fly. People drive way too fast, they tailgate, they pass on the wrong side of the road. It's safe to say that residents in Carbon Canyon and regular commuters alike know that a statement of overriding consideration on traffic is irresponsible. Driving in Carbon Canyon is not like writing a traffic study, it's an experience. Studies don't show the cliffs, the rock slides, the landslides, the curves, the combination of landslides and curves, the accidents, the ups and downs that diminish the line of sight, and the road closures. When I think about traffic in the canyon, I think about the time while driving home late one night when the car in front of me came to a sudden stop. I saw a pedestrian lying in the road being tended to. As I drove by, I could tell the man was dead. And it turned out he wasn't a pedestrian. They found his motorcycle at the bottom of Carbon Canyon Creek. His wife was there too, and she was almost cut in half by the guardrail. traffic in Carbon Canyon, I think about that carload of freshly graduated high school kids who missed the curve heading into the canyon from Brea and crashed into the big old pepper tree and were all killed. There were ribbons wrapped around that tree for a long time. When I think about traffic in the canyon, I think about the kid who loved cars, especially his bright red Camaro. This accident was just before Christmas when Carbon Canyon Road was closed east of Olinda Drive from around 2:30 in the morning till almost noon the next day. That kid was going way too fast and sheared off a telephone pole, a power pole, killing himself and injuring his passenger. When I think about traffic, I think about the wee hours of the morning during the Freeway Complex Fire when my wifey back there, who was my daughter, down Carbon Canyon, scraping the right side of her car because the smoke was so thick, and she didn't want to interfere with fire trucks coming up the road. When you think about traffic, think about a 28-minute drive to go 3 miles. You can watch that if you look for Madrona traffic study on YouTube. When you think about traffic, think about doing something to improve the safety in our city, not something that makes it more dangerous. We're not an island. This is a regional traffic issue, and the negative impacts would harm thousands more people than would benefit from Madrona. Government is supposed to do the most good for the most people, and a decision that makes traffic worse on a regional highway is not a responsible decision. So when people in Carbon Canyon heard that the Brea City Council could make a decision that would put 1,600 more cars on Carbon Canyon Road every day, they see it as 1,600 more chances of being impacted by a traffic accident every day. When you think about traffic, think about that 1,600 chances of making traffic worse. And then think about the one chance you have to make traffic better. Say yes to the appeal and no to Madrona, because traffic on Carbon Canyon Road should not be made more unsafe.